Perhaps the artist of the future isn't just someone who can paint or sculpt, but someone who curates, remixes, and directs AI in ways that reveal something deeper. wait, this is great. This is blowing my mind. I feel like my opinion is being changed. Hello everyone, my name is Gorda, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I recently created this channel and I also created a TikTok account where I've been showing my art, which is also called Gorda Creates. Today's video is quite different from the first one if you've watched it. My first video that I uploaded was me showing the process from one of my last paintings, and today's video is going to be about finding inspiration for a piece I'm currently working on and that I feel a little bit stuck with. So this piece, I'm going to talk about it more in an upcoming video, which will be the process of my current piece once it is finished. But I have done about half of what I plan to do on this painting slash installation, and I feel a bit of a block because the subject of it is the moment before death. Now, it is very difficult, especially with an installation piece, to find what symbolizes the moment before death when you've never experienced it. And I guess that's the beauty of being an artist. You don't have to experience something to envision it and portray it on a canvas, right? Or it doesn't have to be on a canvas. I wanted objects that symbolized death, and it was very hard to think of non-cliche ones. So going back to the title of this video, a few weeks ago, when I was thinking about creating this channel and creating my TikTok page, I wanted to come up with a logo, and I am atrocious at finding stuff. So I used an AI tool for the first time, and I generated a few logo images. Now, none of them ended up sticking, but I really liked the creativity and I felt quite inspired afterwards. I'm still planning to do a logo at some point, but I probably need to better my Photoshop skills because I've just stayed away from digital art. Physical art is far better for me. I've always been really against using AI as an artist because I feel like it's going to be detrimental for the art world, because why would you hire an artist to do something, work on a super detailed art piece for months or even a couple years, when you can just put it in an AI generator and you can get something that's very detailed, very unique and interesting and probably a bit creepy? Because I don't know if it's just what I follow, but I feel like creepy cute or creepy realistic is quite popular at the minute. But then again, you can kind of tell from my style what kind of things I look at, so maybe it's just me, maybe it's just the things I follow. So I've always been really against AI, but I found this really fascinating, and I thought, what if AI doesn't have to be the end of art? What if it can actually inspire artists more and be a great tool? So today I'm going to be testing it, and I have a piece of paper down here with some questions I want to ask it, with a few prompts of what I want generating. The prompts are fairly straightforward and simplistic. They're not the best, but we will see what they generate. This is my first proper time doing it. I'll be using quite a few websites to do this, and we can see if I gain any ideas from this or not. And I invite you to join me on the ride. So let me know what you think. If you have any ideas before I look on AI, what kind of things symbolize the moment before death, or what do you think of when you think of that last moment when there's almost nothing left, when you're taking your last breaths? It sounds like a really dark subject. It just naturally came because someone read a poem to me, and I thought I want to do a painting on it. So let's have a look. Okay, so I have clicked record. So the first page that we're going to look at is going to be Bing Image Creator. So this website I used for once before. It was the only AI generator website which I used. Now, I don't know whether to put all of my questions or all my prompts into one website and then repeat with the other ones, or to do one at a time and see what each website creates. So, okay, let's try, let's experiment, let's have some fun. So the first prompt is create a detailed image of the feeling of death. And let's see what it does. It's taking a minute. Okay. So the below images are things I've generated before. I'm going to rephrase that because I don't know what I was expecting, but this is not the best. Like, just for a moment, I'm going to show you what it generated before. So This one was create a highly detailed black and white artwork of an anime female artist obsessed with aliens, and this is what I came up with. And I mean, you can tell that it's AI, but it's way more interesting. I'm not going to get into these fully to discuss them because they're not related to this video, but they're far better than that image. Okay, so I'm going to press back and let's see, create a detailed artistic image. I'm going to work with this one prompt for now, and then I'm going to try different websites because I'm not happy with this. Create a detailed artistic image of the feeling of death. And what I found was that if you use black and white, for some reason, the quality of the images are better. Create a detailed, highly detailed, should I put, highly detailed artistic image of the feeling of death. Make it black and white. Let's have a look. Please be better because I want some ideas. Okay. So I was expecting a lot of skeletons and Grim Reapers, so this isn't surprising, but I do like it. I think it's interesting. Okay, this one, they're definitely suffering. Definitely suffering. I recently read the Junji Ito manga about the spirals, and Uzumaki, that's what it was called. And this is what it reminds me of because there's so many spirals here. But this is quite cool. Like, it's not inspiring me, but it's quite interesting. One more. Sometimes on Bing Image Creator, if you press create twice, it will come up with different options even though the prompt is the same. But I'm going to put hyper detailed. I don't know if that's going to do anything. I'm actually getting a little bit excited now. Let's see. Okay, so I like it. Again, it's not showing me anything that I didn't expect. It's not unique, but I do like that you can see the texture in the bones. You can see that the skeleton has a little bit of hair left before it falls off, and it's holding another skeleton. Can I close up? Yes, I can. Okay. Oh, can I scroll down? Yes. Okay. Sharp nails. What is he holding? Is it life itself that he's clinging on to? Okay. Interesting. This one is like, so I don't know if there's any Doctor Who fans here, and I didn't think I'd be talking about Doctor Who this early on, but this is like oh, there's gonna be so many people confused. I don't know which stories it was in, but when people try and take on the Doctor's knowledge, or when Rose takes in the TARDIS's spirit kind of essence, Doctor Who fans are gonna come after me for that because it was not an accurate description. But I'm trying, okay? I'm still getting to know the franchise and series. So it looks like, this one looks like they're really suffering, and that the life in them, their spirit, is almost bursting out of them because it doesn't want to stay in there for any longer, which is quite interesting. This one, I don't know what it is, but I loved these, like, there's so many lines, and it's almost like a nest of a person that's left. And they're being torn apart, they're being torn into different sides, pulled on in different sides. And they're holding the corpses of their ancestors. I don't know. That was the thing. Let's try a different website. So I have Leonardo AI. Now this is one I've never used. It looks like it's quite good quality. Let's see, so you can choose image dimension, type prompt. So let's see if this works properly because I've never used this before. Create a detailed image of... So for this prompt we have create a detailed image of death itself without using the Grim Reaper. And this is because I already knew it's either the Grim Reaper or skeletons. Easy peasy. And I wanted something that I wouldn't think of myself. I'm not expecting a lot. Let's give it a chance, because I've not used this one, and it already looks much higher quality than Bing. Generate. So I've never used this website, I don't know what features it has. Okay. So, it's quite funny because I don't know, I guess it's not the Grim Reaper, but it looks almost exactly like what I would imagine a Grim Reaper. The costume, the skeleton poking out. I like that it's in a graveyard. Not a huge fan. This one, I think from what I saw from the preview, they all look quite similar, which I'm a bit disappointed about. I was looking for some more variation. I really like the face on this one, even though the eyes are a bit like... the eye on the right looks a bit weird, and I don't know if that's supposed to be the light hitting it, but she looks like her eye's slightly going that way. I don't know, maybe I'm just mumbling about nothing, but I like that this one isn't a skeleton. I'll give it that. It's a person that's coming to take you to the afterlife, and it's just an average goth. Looks cool, but I was expecting something a bit more. And then another one which looks a bit like, I don't know, another Grim Reaper, kind of something similar to Grim Reaper, an example of that. I don't really know even like how to adjust my prompt. Create a highly detailed image of death itself without using the Grim Reaper or a skeleton. What else can I say? Make it spooky and unique. What I'm understanding so far is like that our artists now are far better than the capabilities of AI, at least free AI, in terms of art creation. Okay, so I can already see that it's not done what I've asked. So there's 1, 2 skeletons. Let's have a look at the other ones. What I really wonder is like, why does it have to have a physical shape? You know, I guess that's how people picture it. So it's picking up on what's been made before, and people imagine it as a figure who takes you to the other life. I like the huge hands. I think they're a bit creepy. Like, you won't run away from those hands. Why have they got abs? Like, imagine dying and the creature that takes you to the other side or reincarnates you or whatever has abs, and you've never had abs. That would be the last self-conscious thought you have before the next thing. I do like the gown. I like that it's red, and I like that it's kind of, it's like ripped, but the rips are like reaching out into space. That's quite interesting. And then this one's like the same one, but a variation of it. Let's take a piece of content. Okay. Oh, why is this happening? Our content filter has detected violent or abusive content. In your prompt, remove any references to violent or abusive content and try again. But it's not violent, because we all die. Right. Okay. Oh dear. Create a highly detailed image of the moment before afterlife. That's the only thing I can think of which wouldn't be violent afterlife. Moving on to the afterlife. Okay, so it's actually generating something now. Let's see. Does anything? I don't really want to put afterlife because, oh god. Right, I am disappointed with Leonardo. And why are they all the same? They're like 4 images from the same photo shoot. Give me something more. You're supposed to be artificial intelligence. Intelligence being a key part of that. Oh, it's a girl holding a light. How wonderful. Okay, she's getting off from fairy lights. And she is a vapor, or maybe she's getting ready for her wedding night. This is just appalling. Okay, right. Last one. And I am really hoping for the best. Maybe I could have chosen better AI websites, but genuinely, a lot of people recommended these ones online. So, anyways, moving on. Create a fairly detailed image of the moment before death. I don't know what a negative prompt is. You just say what you do not want in an image. I am scared. I am terrified. Oh my god. Why is he becoming one with the camera? And the camera is facing us, and where are his hands? What? What is going on? Oh my god. Let's have a look at the other ones. I don't know what to say. If this is how I look like the moment before I die, then I am very scared. And whoever recommended this website, I'm concerned about you. Now, what is going on with their hands? Why are they holding the camera that way? Are their fingers broken? Are they melting into each other? I don't know if I should even bother with the last prompt. Yeah. Okay. One more prompt. Even though... Should I put Bing on again? I feel like Bing was the best one so far, and I am really surprised. Let's see what Bing has to say, yeah? Let's see, Bing. Give me all you got, because otherwise I've got nothing. Oh, Bing. Highly artistic, highly detailed artistic image of the moment before death. Make it black and white. Are you going to give me skeletons again? Are you going to give me the Grim Reaper? Okay. At least this isn't someone holding a camera with their fingers broken. Let's have a look at these. So this one's quite predictable. Angels, skeletons. The skeletons are screaming. They just don't want to leave. They don't want to go to a better place. Promised Land. This is where everyone's bodies are buried. They're having a grand old party in purgatory, and then they rise. Oh, it's beneath the sea. That's interesting. If you've watched Big Fish in Begonia, which I really recommend, they talk about that we all come from the sea, humankind, and I find that quite an interesting idea. I don't know what's going on with this. Is it a bird, an angel? It looks like a screaming mermaid whose tail has been slightly trimmed. And then I do like it visually if you're not looking at the details really close up, like, because none of these birds slash, I'm guessing they're angels, none of these angels have faces. I do like this figure. It's a bit like Slendermanish, a bit ominous, quite cute. And interesting. Is he looks a bit like a lion. I don't know if it's just me. A lion angel person. No, he is a lion person. Okay, Bing. Interesting. So, create an image of someone's life flashing before their eyes in the moment before death. So this is what a lot of people believe to happen, right? So, let's see what Bing AI thinks that it will look like for us. Okay. This is interesting. So it's like, this is my interpretation, and it's not necessarily what's on the screen, but this is what I see. It seems like the version of you that you've known all your life is basically either being sucked into this wormhole or falling down this hole. And you're reaching out, you want to save them, but they're being sucked in by forces that are way too strong, and there's nothing you can do, and you have to watch that version of yourself die and disappear. I'm quite a big believer that we are all one, we're all part of the same spirit, and we experience everything as one entity. So in this life I'm me, in another life I am my best friend, in another life I'm someone that I really despise, you know, everything, and it's all just different versions of the same spirit. This is what it feels like to me, but that's just my interpretation. It's probably not even that deep. This one's boring. Okay, yeah, we have muscles underneath. There is muscles on, at least on one side of my face. I'm moving it, so yes. Lots of hands reaching in and reaching out. What is it? Parts of her? Is it her ancestors reaching to meet with her? I don't know. It's okay. You know, not the worst thing that we've seen. This is Spider-Man. Spider-Man after everyone has died and the vines have taken over the city. Actually, I really wonder what Spider-Man images it would generate. Maybe we could do just one. Reaching out to this other person. It could be them, it could be someone else. Generate funny, highly detailed black and white images of Spider-Man. Let's go. Let's see what it does. This is really random, but at this point I feel like most of the websites that I researched and wrote down have been... Okay. I've just seen the images. Yeah, the websites have been a bit of a... could have been much better. So, Spider-Man piece. Cool. Cool hat. This one was what got my attention. Has he drawn his brains coming out? Like, what is this on his head? Is it his brains? Is it like some kind of infestation? I don't know. And then that's alright. Let's have a look at the faces of the people. Yeah. Oh my god, look at that woman there. That's horrible. Goodness. Okay. So, ChatGPT. My last chance at getting inspired. And I believe in ChatGPT way more than all the other websites. Let's get rid of these. There we go. Right. Let's try ChatGPT. So, let's dive straight into it because this video is already going to be quite long. So, my first question for ChatGPT is, what does the last moment before death look like for most people? So, it is different for every person, usually. But there's a collective belief, and I'm curious what, I'm guessing it's going to be pretty standard information, but let's start out simple and then go a bit more deep with this. The last moments before death can vary widely depending on the cause, whether it's due to natural aging, illness, trauma, or other circumstances. However, for most people dying naturally or from illness, the process follows a general pattern. So breathing changes, loss of consciousness, weak pulse, and blood pressure drop, and eyes and facial expressions. Eyes may be half open, unfocused, or glassy. Some people appear to see something others can't. Terminal agitation or peacefulness. So this is talking about the symptoms of someone who is about to die. That is not what I wanted exactly. So from the mental emotional experiences, it says visions or hallucinations. Many report seeing deceased loved ones or feeling a presence. Life reviews. Some describe experiencing a rapid recall of important life moments. A sense of peace or euphoria. Studies suggest the brain may release chemicals that create a peaceful feeling in some cases. So one of the things that I already thought would be here is your life flashed before your eyes, so life review. The euphoric feeling is definitely one I've heard a lot, talked about a lot. Visions of hallucinations, so deceased loved ones. So these are all quite what I expected. I think it's more rare to picture death as like in Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, like you're clinging on to these memories and everything is going dark and everything's disappearing and you're trapping yourself in these memories. You're hiding from yourself in these memories because you don't want it all to go away. And not that it's going to be exactly like the film, because I don't believe that. But I imagine what I said at the beginning, which is a dark room, a few people around me, those that left the greatest impact, and we're having a conversation with them. And I start forgetting the words that I'm saying. The furniture starts disappearing, the decor starts disappearing. It's just me, these people, maybe the table that we're sat on, and I'm desperately clinging on to that because that is the last thing, the last memory left, and that is what was left of it. That is kind of how I imagine it, the moment before death, where you know it's all going to go away, but you still cling on to it. Many who have had near-death experiences describe a tunnel, a bright light, or an overwhelming sense of love and peace. Whilst these accounts aren't scientifically proven as universal, they offer insight into what some people might experience. So it asks if I want something a bit more in detail from those aspects. I think they're all pretty standard, so I'm going to leave it at that. My second question is art-related. So my question is, what non-cliche objects would symbolize death in an artist's installation piece? Okay, so this is where it gets a bit more interesting. If you want to avoid cliches like skulls, hourglasses, and wilted flowers, here are some unique and thought-provoking objects that would symbolize death in an art installation. So molted snakeskin represents transformation and the shedding of the past. Dried coral or barnacles on a human object suggests abandonment, decay, or nature reclaiming what was once alive. I like that. Taking notes now. So it doesn't have to be coral. I think objects that have natural matter growing on them, that's quite interesting. A hollowed out seed pod. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Everyday objects with unsettling twists. Unfinished knitting or embroidery. A life interrupted, something left incomplete. A broken watch with a moving second hand. Time is fractured, yet it lingers. Now, I wouldn't use that one in my current piece, but I find that really interesting that one of the hands, it's only one of the hands that still is working. It's not fully broken. A chair with one leg missing. Yeah, it's okay. A photograph with a missing silhouette cut out. Now that is cliche. Come on, AI. Like, we've seen that in films so many times, you know. A visual absence that suggests someone is gone. A mirror that doesn't reflect. Now, this is really interesting. Obviously, it can't be done now. But imagine if I could make a mirror that would not reflect the people standing in front of it, but would reflect the objects around where, like, if I made a mirror and there was a silhouette of where the person had to stand, and around the silhouette all the objects were reflected, but in the silhouette it stayed the same and it didn't reflect the person's image, I think that would be very, very fascinating. Not yet possible though. A mirror that doesn't reflect, a lantern that won't stay lit. Okay, flickering, you know, also done. Glass jars of expired medicine. I don't think anyone would actually look at the expiration dates if I put medicine in my installation piece. Faded X-ray or MRI scan. I'll write that down. It's not too bad. Faded scan, medical scan. A DNA helix that slowly unravels. The gradual disintegration of life at a molecular level. Now it's asking me if I would like more ideas on a specific theme or concept. So I really liked the dried coral or barnacle on a human object. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and say, so I said, yes, I'd like more ideas on the dried coral or barnacles on a human object. Perhaps other living matter ideas. So I have seen sculptures like this before, quite a lot online, so I don't really want to do lichen, barnacles. So it's suggesting coral, lichen. I want to see if it suggests anything else. Shoes filled with sand and shell growths. A set of teeth embedded in driftwood. A book overtaken by mold or mushrooms. Again, I've seen it online, it looks super cool. A pillow growing moss. I do really like that. I must say, I really like that. I don't think there'd be any space for a pillow, but I'm going to write it down because I like it. Pillow growing moss. It would be cool if it stayed alive as well. Gloves are hand-sprouting mycelium. I am a huge fan of mushrooms. If you follow me on TikTok, if you see one of my paintings, I am obsessed with mushrooms. So I like these ideas. A plaster face mask partially consumed by mushrooms. A wax sculpture with bees building a hive on it. Interesting. A discarded ribcage shaped from paper eaten away by termites. Now, again, I'm not going to do this because I'm trying to keep it minimal, but I like it. I like something made out of paper, but termites are eating away, although sculpting mini termites would be definitely a challenge. So something wooden. A moth-covered human silhouette in a dark room. I really like that. I really, really like that. So I'm going to leave it there. And if I want more ideas, I will go back to it in my own time, but I need to get on to the other ones. What is scary about death? And I'm going to ask for a philosophical answer. I don't know how to spell philosophically. The fear of death is deeply philosophical, tied to our existence, identity, and the unknown. Here are a few angles to consider. The fear of non-existence. One of the most unsettling aspects of death is the idea of absolute nothingness. The end of consciousness, experience, and self-awareness. If our thoughts, emotions, and identity cease, then what does it mean to have ever existed? This fear is rooted in the tension between our ability to contemplate eternity and our inability to experience it. The other one is the loss of meaning. We spend our lives seeking purpose through relationships, achievements, creativity, and belief systems. But if death is the final erasure of all we've built, does that mean our efforts were ultimately meaningless? The existential dread of death is not just about dying, but about whether life itself holds lasting value. True, the fear of the unknown, the loss of control, the fear of dying, not just death. Some fear not death itself, but the process of dying, pain, suffering, the slow erosion of self. We don't just fear the moment life ends, but the gradual breakdown of the body and mind leading up to it, incompleteness of life, loneliness of death. I think all of these are things that we think about day to day, or things that we think about ourselves. I'm quite surprised that it's worded it in such a... I think it's worded it in a very intelligent way. I will leave it at that. So, the final question, the ultimate question. Will AI greatly inspire art or take away the reason for the existence of artists by making it easy for anyone to create art in minutes? Let's see what AI says. Okay, ChatGPT. AI will radically reshape art, but whether it inspires or diminishes artists depends on how we define art's purpose and value. AI can generate images, music, and writing in minutes, but does that mean it creates art? Art isn't just the final product, it's the process, the intention, the struggle, the personal expression. AI can produce visually stunning images, but it doesn't feel, suffer, or dream. Those uniquely human experiences will always be at the core of meaningful art. Artists can use AI to push boundaries, generating ideas faster, exploring new forms, and experimenting in ways that weren't possible before. Rather than replacing artists, AI could become a new kind of paintbrush, expanding what's possible. Wow. That is great. I love that. That was... have to give it a round of applause. A new kind of paintbrush. The death of the technical gatekeeper. For centuries, making art requires years of training, expensive materials, and deep technical skill. AI removes that barrier. Anyone can now create something visually striking in seconds. This democratization could be seen as a threat, but also as an opportunity. Does making art easier devalue it, or does it simply allow more voices to participate? If technical mastery is no longer the defining factor, will ideas and personal vision become more important? Wait, this is great. This is blowing my mind. I feel like my opinion is being changed. I'm very glad I saved this till the last question. Perhaps the artist of the future isn't just someone who can paint or sculpt, but someone who curates, remixes, and directs AI in ways that reveal something deeper. AI-generated art, no matter how visually impressive, often lacks soul, because it is not a product of lived experience. In a world flooded with AI art, will people crave human-made work even more? Will the value of an artist shift from execution to unique storytelling and philosophy? Much like how factory-made furniture exists alongside handcrafted pieces, AI-generated art may coexist with human-made work rather than replace it. So the last thing that it says is, AI can create, but it doesn't mean. That remains the artist's job. The future of art may be less about manual skill and more about the ability to tell stories, evoke emotions, and challenge perspectives. Artists will shift from just making to curating, directing, and innovating, finding ways to embed humanity into AI-assisted work. In short, AI won't kill art. It will challenge it, expand it, and force artists to evolve, but the hunger for human creativity, emotion, and perspective will always remain. Whilst I still have my doubts, I enjoyed the way I answered that question, and that's where I will leave it. Now, have I got new ideas? Not many. I have one that I might pursue, which is objects that have natural matter growing on them. I will look into that and see if I want to incorporate it or if I still want to keep it super minimal. I have a few other ideas that I might incorporate into other pieces because I thought they were very original and interesting concepts. But thank you for watching this video. If you've stayed around until this long, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been a bit long and some of the websites have been a bit disappointing, but it can't all be good, and I'm glad we're ending it on a good note. Stay tuned to see what I do with my current piece and how it turns out. Hope you like it, and I'll be posting more. If you want to see more of me, check out my TikTok, which I'll be linking down below. But yeah, peace out. I need to go to bed now. And yeah, have a good day, whatever kind of day it is, wherever you are. Bye!